Dice. Dice. So many dice. Hey there, it's Kylie at Games Unlimited, and I want to take a little trip on the Wayback Machine for my picks of the week this week. These are three of my favorite, what are now classic games. We'll start with Seven Wonders Duel. This is without a doubt my favorite quick-playing two-player game. It has so much strategy in just a half an hour. It is a streamlined version of Seven Wonders that's specifically designed for two players. Now you're going to be drafting from an open tableau. Generally drafting games don't work very well with two players, but what this one does is that you have a tableau out there, you have cards you can see, you can take an available face-up card that's at the bottom as long as it's not covered by other cards. But when you take cards, you'll reveal the cards underneath it that might be available for your opponent. So that's one of the things you have to think about when you're playing this game. But what really makes it interesting is, ostensibly, you are playing to have the most points. After 3 rounds, you will add up points. Whoever has the most victory points wins. But there are two ways that the game could immediately end. So if someone gets too far along on the military track, the game ends immediately and they win. If someone gets too far ahead scientifically, they get too many combinations of science cards, the game ends immediately and they automatically win. Now, those win conditions do happen on occasion. It's certainly not rare to have someone win that way, but what it does is it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. So if I'm, pushing military, it's not necessarily because I plan to win militarily, but now my opponent is going to have to make suboptimal moves to stop that, and in the meantime, I'll be grabbing victory point cards. This is just a phenomenal game. Like I said, it is without a doubt my favorite two-player game that plays in under a half an hour. Just a lot of great strategy in that time frame and not too difficult of a learning curve, especially if you've already played Seven Wonders. That is Seven Wonders Duel. Now let's move on to something a little bit heavier. This is the newest game that I'm going to talk about. It's been out a couple of years. This is Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. Now this is often considered, the younger sibling to Gloomhaven, though I have to tell you, I actually prefer this to the big game. Shh, don't tell people I said that. One of the reasons is that it really streamlines the setup. So whereas the original Gloomhaven, which is a cooperative sort of legacy campaign fantasy adventure, the original game you had to set up the tiles for each mission. This has a booklet that has all of the levels already in the booklet. So you just lay it open, there's the level, you put your characters on there, you put the enemies on there, and you're ready to go. It really takes the setup from what used to be a 15-20 minute affair to a 5-minute affair. And it's also a great way to learn Gloomhaven. It has cards to start off the game with that tell you exactly what they do, so you can jump right into playing it. But it is the full Gloomhaven experience. You are not getting anything lesser out of this. The characters in here can be used in the original Gloomhaven and vice versa, but it has its own campaign that's going to take you 15-20 sessions to get through. The characters level up just like they do in the original game. And what I love about Gloomhaven is the tactical nature of card play in this. So there's no dice. So you actually have your character, you have a hand of cards, and each round you're going to choose 2 of your cards. You're going to use the top action on one of them, the bottom action on the other. Usually the top is an attack, the bottom is a move, but that changes. But once you use those cards, they're gone. They're in your discard pile. Next round you have to choose 2 different cards. There are ways to pick up your discard pile, but of course there are penalties for doing that, and it just really forces you to think tactically about every action in the game. If you haven't played Gloomhaven and are at all interested in this sort of co-op, RPG-like dungeon delving experience, pick up Jaws of the Lion. It has a much lower price point. It will tell you immediately whether Gloomhaven is something that you're into. And hey, if you love it, you can pick up the big one and have even more adventures to go on. All right, last up, I hadn't played this one in quite a while. Pulled it out with the wife a few days ago. That is Sagrada. I forgot how much I liked this game. This is basically dice Sudoku. So you're going to be making stained glass windows out of these beautiful dice. They come in, I believe, 6 different colors. They're clear 6-sided dice. They're just absolutely gorgeous on the table. But you are going to be filling in your stained glass window here. But there are some rules. You're going to have spots that have to have a certain color, spots that have to have a certain number, but you also can never put the same color orthogonally adjacent to each other, nor can you put the same number orthogonally adjacent to each other. So dice are going going to be pulled from a bag, rolled. You're going to take turns drafting a die, placing it on your board. But as the game goes on, it's going to be harder and harder to find the perfect die to place it. And of course, there's also various ways to get points that are going to change from game to game based on these cards. So maybe you get bonus points if you have all different colors in a row, or all different numbers, or you're going to get points for every blue that you have out there. You're going to add up, so you want to get high blue numbers out there on the board. Things that are going to really change the way you have to think about what you're drafting. It's a quick game, 30-45 minutes, plays up to 4 players out of the box, plus we have a couple of expansions that even expand it more. That's Sagrada. All right, those are my picks from the Wayback Machine this week. I am Kylie at Games Unlimited. I hope you come down, ask us some questions about these games, take one home, and unbox some fun.